Welcome to Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned. My name is Adam. I'm joined, as always, by Michael and Jason. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, apparently. We usually do this on Wednesdays or Thursdays. So, I guess Ubiforward.
Ubiforward.
It's their E3 event, since there is no E3 this year. Then they announced a handful of games. The funny thing was they got leaked about, I want to say a day, maybe two ahead of time. At least that Far Cry rather 6 was coming out, and it was shown that Giancarlo
Gustavo
from
Fring.
Your boy.
Gustavo Fring.
Yeah, boy.
From Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul was going to be in it. They handled a spoiler the best I think I've ever seen it handled. A few hours later, when they, I guess, realized they couldn't cover it up, they just posted a GIF of him smoking a cigar with his character name, saying that he would not be pleased.
I guess that's why all the Far Cry games are on sale right now. Even on the PlayStation Store, they're on sale.
There's nothing coming out.
Yeah. Whoa, is there a release date on that, or?
I did not see one. I saw some clips. It looks pretty.
Yeah, I mean, the Far Cry games have always been good. I mean, even as early as, like, we were playing some Far Cry on, like, PS2, and it had a pretty dope map maker. I think that might have been, like, Far Cry 1.
I think that's 4. Oh, okay.
4? No, this was PS2. This was way back when. We used to all play that multiplayer because it just had, like, a really cool map maker on it. It was, like, really advanced for a console shooter. Then Far Cry 2... Which one had the grass that you could catch on fire in, like, the desert? Was that Far Cry 3 or 4?
I feel like that was 3. I don't know. I played the first.
You were in, like,
couple
Sahara.
Or handful.
I always know they were graphically intense games. Like, I think 2 and 3 were when they were coming out. Because is it the same company that did Crysis? I want to say, but I could be wrong.
I absolutely believe so.
But yeah, anyway, I like the Far Cry series. I should definitely go and play them, but I have a hard time getting into any single player shooter that isn't Titanfall.
See, I always drew the correlation that BioShock and Far Cry were kind of similar.
No.
No? I mean...
No, BioShock is like BioShock I would compare to, like, what's the one coming out? Cyberpunk 2049 or something? 77?
2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is a lot more similar.
I'd say to BioShock in the sense, I mean, they're not the same game at all, but, like, it's that Deus Ex. It's like an RPG first-person shooter, like a skill-based RPG system, where Far Cry is a much more shooty bang game.
Oh yeah, okay. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just gunplay, really.
The best.
Debatable, but I did like the fact. I remember, I think in Far Cry 3 they added, like, gun jamming, and I know that pissed a lot of people off, but I thought it was, like, neat. You'd be in a firefight and your bullets would jam and you would have to, like, clear your mag and shit. I don't know. I thought it was a neat feature.
Is that something you can turn on and off, or is that just perma on?
I think it's perma on.
If I wanted that, I would go play. What is it? What is the fucking military game? America's Army.
Are you talking about Arma?
No, it was literally a game developed by the military in order to, like, brainwash you and, like, hey, come sign up.
Was
it's
it free?
It's a video game.
Was it free?
I'm
was
fairly
free.
certain.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think we played it. I think me and Josh definitely played AA. But so
Gross. I need a button that's like gross.
It was big before Call of Duty was.
yeah, because it was free. It was. I think at that time it was like a free, decent shooter. So like everyone just hopped on it for a little bit. I mean, it wasn't that there wasn't much depth, and I don't remember it being that good of a game. But a lot of people played it.
Mhm.
So if we're talking about conventions, Ubiforward had Ubisoft had theirs. Ubiforward, another
Yeah.
company, Devolver Digital, did theirs. They're known for like they're doing Exit the Gungeon, which is the sequel to Enter the Gungeon, I believe, and they also do the Serious Sam series and a bunch of other shit. So I think they released it on the same date, or it was the 11th, and I think Ubisoft's was on the 12th. They came out with Devolverland Expo, which is one of the most popular Steam games right now because it's free, and you basically walk through a first-person abandoned convention center, and that's how they're advertising their new games. It's like through a meta game. It's actually pretty cool.
I didn't see the appeal in it. I looked at because the game.
Yeah,
Was,
I don't have it either, but I thought it was a neat idea, like a neat marketing strategy.
it's different. It's definitely
Yeah, I
different.
mean, if you want to get hype for your games, especially people that like that company, like, yeah, I'll download a free game and walk around. If I was younger, I would definitely think that's really cool. But I'm like, yeah, I don't want to like explore your advertisements. Okay,
What? No. What was the Kojima game?
Death Stranding.
No. What was the game that was like horror-ish?
Oh, you're talking about Project Terror, PT. It was supposed to be
Yeah,
the new
PT.
Silent Hill. Yeah.
That all it was a marketing ploy, right?
Yeah, it was just a big advertisement for him working on the new Silent Hill. But hey, I mean, I wish it would have happened, man. PT was the best shit ever. So, what else? So, what else did Ubisoft announce except?
Oh, their new Assassin's Creed. I have seen. It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I believe, is the actual working title, if not the official title.
Yeah, it's the title, I believe.
From the descriptions that I read, there is very little climbing involved. It's not super Assassin's Creed, and as I think you said earlier, it's basically Ubisoft's attempt at making The Witcher.
Yeah,
which is
it's
why
like
they
The Witcher
went
3.
for Valhalla.
Yeah, it's just The Witcher 3. Everything I've seen, like gameplay wise and everything, I mean, it's The Witcher 3. Like,
Are they really that similar? Like, are you doing a lot of sneaking around in The Witcher?
no, but that's the point. Like, just go watch any combat from it. I mean, and even like the way he's exploring, like the combat. I'm looking at it right now. Like, it is night and day. Or not night and day. I mean, it plays just like Witcher 3. I mean, the same kind of dodge system, the same kind of like gameplay mechanics, auto lock-ons, the aiming, like everything. It looks exactly like The Witcher 3 in terms of combat.
See, I've watched like a bunch of my friends play Assassin's Creed, but I could never get into that franchise. To me, it was kind of like I always put it on the back burner, like God of War. Where it was something that was kind of cool, but it just seemed like a lot of sneaking around. And it just seemed like how many times can they retell that Assassin's Creed story?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They beat Assassin's Creed into the ground hard. I think it's kind of having a little revival because they realized I don't think people really play the games so much for their gameplay. It's more about the historical settings, at least for me. So once they got burnt out on making like 10 of the same games, it's like, oh, look, if we set it in Rome or set it in Egypt or set it in barbarian times, like people actually give a shit because they like the history. It's not, I'm not playing Assassin's Creed because I like so much. The game is an easy game. But it's fun when it's in Renaissance Italy or you're a pirate on a ship. Like this is, these settings are really unique.
That ship combat was fun for sure.
The ship combat was my least favorite part of that fucking game. But I love Black Flag. Yeah, I love the setting.
You loved it and you don't like the ship combat?
I loved the sailing and I enjoyed like that you could battle, but the combat itself, I did not. It was not fun for me. It was a bunch of turning in circles and just like auto shooting, and I was like, "Oh my god,
that sounds pretty fun." I mean,
dude, it was.
You need to turn it. You need to turn a sharper circle. That's all you lost.
It was fun. It's fun like the first 3 times, and then every ship combat, it's like, okay, turn left. Wait for your cannons to line up. Fire your cannons. Okay, rinse, repeat. Forever.
That sounds like fun to me.
Dude, when I'm looking at this gameplay, and I mean, visually, it looks like The Witcher 3 too. Like, he's sailing on a boat. He's walking around. Like, it looks like Witcher 3. It looks like a carbon copy, almost. Which, I mean, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but
did they have that that new UFC game at the Ubisoft convention? Or that's real, right? Like that was that fake?
The box art? All I saw was the box art.
I don't know.
No, the box art is real. That's their real box art. It's real terrible.
Was that EA?
It's EA Sports.
Okay.
That's gonna be a link so people can fully appreciate.
I don't know.
Whatever the fuck they thought.
I know what they're thinking. They want it to be hip and cool, and it looks like dog shit.
And they accomplished none of those things.
Yeah, it looks real bad. It looks like something as if I was like a freshman in college. I'd be like, I know it'd be cool. We'll do like half a picture and then like just random shit in the background. Yeah, words. Let's just have a repeating phrase going across the box. And a guy over here, but he's all cut off and shit. Like, nah, it looks real terrible. Very bad. So does this new Assassin's Creed. This game looks real bad. Just saying that right now. Like this.
Does it look bad as a game, or does it look bad as an Assassin's Creed? Because for the record, in my opinion,
it looks bad as an Assassin's Creed. It looks like a worse Witcher 3, but it also looks like a worse Assassin's Creed. Like, I had no problems with like the newer Assassin's Creeds. I thought they were all pretty good. Well, yeah, they're recycled, but again, every game kind of added a little bit something new and different, and I see that's what they're trying to do with Valhalla also. But honestly, like, it looks kind of boring to me. Like, this looks like boring gameplay.
I will give them credit for at least attempting to change, because in my opinion, the last 3 Assassin's Creeds, it's the same game, just in a different time period, time zone. Like, yes, you have a different environment, but you're playing the same game.
You know, this series...
but that's their core gameplay. I'm sorry to cut you off, Mike. I was just gonna say that's their core gameplay mechanic. That's like faulting COD for having the same fucking game. Call of Duty 19 is Call of Duty 2. It's the same fucking game with different settings, but no one complains because their gameplay loop is good. You know, they might add a new mechanic in. Oh, look, you get a slide. Oh, look, you get a drone. Like, but it's the same fucking game. That's the thing with Assassin's Creed. People, I think for the most part, that fan base enjoyed whatever combat loop it had. And to what you were saying, Mike, with the sneaking, I think that's why people like the Assassin's Creeds. Like, people bought it to kind of be like this medieval hitman kind of thing. And what I'll say as someone that liked the games is I was pissed that I could never do the sneaking well. Like, in Metal Gear Solid and Hitman and shit, it was all easy. I can do it all day. But in Assassin's Creed, I would always try to stealth kill my targets and royally fuck it up every time and just have to go, well, fuck it, I guess we're killing 50 people. Okay.
No, that's incredibly true. And leads naturally into Payday.
I knew you. I was literally gonna be like, it's just like Payday, honestly.
Because Payday is a game that feels it has that feel of Metal Gear Solid that you can sneak around. However, you don't get as much leeway, or they're not as generous in Payday. So like that, you get discovered and it becomes a shoot 'em up. But the fun part is sneaking. Mike, I think disagrees. He likes the gun and run, but I know me and Jason from the MGS like background, like we like to try to sneak and do it.
I have something to say about that in a bit, but I'm gonna let Mike talk here.
I mean, I was just gonna say the Assassin's Creed games, they remind me a whole lot of what happened to God of War and Devil May Cry. Great first couple games, then all of a sudden they just started beating the franchises into the ground, and then no one cared about, what are they up to now? Might Cry.
They're on 5. I'm a big fan of the Devil May Cry series. So they did Devil May Cry 4, which was kind of a shitter. Then they did Devil May Cry, which was just like a reboot with a young, shitty Western Dante. Yeah. And then they did Xbox One. It was on 360. They tried to go with like a whole.
It was when it got weird.
Style. Yeah. The Devil May Cry reboot was, it was strange.
Because I didn't play it, I just watched y'all play it.
Yeah, it was. But one was good, 2 was shit, 3 was good, 4 was good, but no one cared because they changed the protagonist. But anyway, people still keep up with that series. People enjoy the shit that Devil May Cry is putting out. But I will agree with you in the God of War sense. God of War had some rough years where, like, until they kind of brought it back with God of War 3. And then I guess, again, the God of War, we go back, once we hit 3, we go back to dropping the numbers.
I mean, is it because like Kratos can only fight Zeus so many times? And
yeah, that's
and Dante,
it. You've killed all the gods.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep this game going? You just go to different mythos and kill their gods, And like you say, yeah, that gets old. Wow, it's really cool the first time, and then it's really cool the second time. But then by the third time, you're like, okay, you're killing more gods. And by the fourth time, you're like, okay, you're killing more gods. Like,
it's almost the issue with games like that in general. You can only follow the same stereotype, mythos, whatever you want to call it, so many times. Even freaking Zelda, because it's existed so long, has like in some instances abandoned Ganon. Oh, you have you have the moon's gonna crash in, or you're a wolf person for some reason, and you're on a
Twilight Princess. All right.
Now you're on a boat floating through the ocean as a semi-related child.
All of these games have Ganon as the main protagonist, except for Majora's Mask. So you're what's the one where you're on the Wind Waker? Wind Waker, Ganon is the last boss. Ganon sunk Hyrule. Ganon is the main villain in that entire story.
No, they make him the last boss. That doesn't make him the protagonist throughout the game, like in some of the more Link Ganon centric. That's what I'm saying. Like
Ocarina of Time. I mean, I don't know, because even in Breath of the Wild, he's your main antagonist. But
new game. I'm talking about the middle.
I know. But no. But I'm using it as like a Wind Waker reference. Like Ganon is referenced in both of those games throughout the whole thing, but really you do not see him until the very end. I think in Ocarina of Time he's more fleshed out. But I don't know. Ganon's always going to be the bad guy in Zelda. Zelda's not really about story so much. It's about the gameplay.
If we're talking about story, though, why is it that so many times over and over Marvel and DC are able to retell story? Like, there's only so much of Batman to be told, but people never get sick of these Batman stories, or Final Fantasy. It's basically the same formula every time.
I would say good characters. People like Batman and like popular comic book characters because they want to know what Batman is doing, and it's a well-told story featuring Batman. We can look at like the Zeldas for an example. Like you buy a Zelda and you're not, you are interested in the story, but you care because it's Zelda and you're Link, and it's gonna be like a good adventure game. Where I don't know, if you don't care about your character, then who gives a shit about the story,
Like, I don't know that much about the Assassin's Creed character. He just seems like a guy who wears white robes and goes around knifing people.
Well, you change most of the games, you change characters. It's like you're a lineage of assassins. So there might be a game or two where you play as this one guy, and a game or two where you play as this guy, and you're all related. They tried to do some big story, but it really got real shitty. I'm not gonna shit on Lost because I love it, but it was kind of like, it's that, so you started really good, and then it gets a little convoluted. So if you're a fan, you might really enjoy the way the Assassin's Creed stories played out. But for a lot of casual players, you're just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Agreed.
I feel like Assassin's Creed, they wrote themselves into a corner, much like Lost. And
to an extent,
they came up with this idea of what if this game that we made, they were traveling through different periods of time, and there was this futuristic corporation that had that ability. It was a cool concept, but as more and more and more games were produced, it felt forced, and that was their biggest issue.
I honestly think they've abandoned it. Yeah, 1 through 3 on the. I don't know how we're on Assassin's Creed so much, but
supposedly
while we're here,
Ubiforward, Valhalla was announced.
Yeah. While we're here, 1 through 3, the story was like you were the modern day ancestor getting in a machine, traveling back in time, reliving these memories. That was the whole plot of the game. And then I think with these newer ones, with Valhalla, the one in Egypt, I don't think that's a thing. I don't know that the time travel element's still in there. Granted, I didn't play the one in Egypt or Rome, but I think they've dropped that entirely, and now you're just playing as like them in the time period, but you're part of the Assassin's Guild or something.
But you're still sneaking around in all of the Assassins.
You're still an assassin.
Okay.
And Valhalla, I literally the whole time we've been talking, I've had this gameplay on. It does not look like you are an assassin whatsoever. I have seen no sneaking. There was like a bush he hid in for like one moment. He's like, "Oh, a bush! I'll crouch in it." But it had no bearing on the gameplay.
That is hilarious.
Like, I think a guard walked by. But no, I mean, in the old games, that's what it was all about. It's like gathering intel, hiding in the crowds, finding like your mark, and trying to get to him sneakily. Like I say, very, very rarely, though, did that come to like fruition as like, oh, cool, I felt like a badass assassin. 9 out of 10 times you just fucked it up and you just had to mash X and kill 30 people. Because the game, the gameplay sucks. Like, the gameplay is not good. Well, on the first games, the gameplay was just like mash X and kill everything. You just parried everything.
No, it was old. It was old Metal Gear Solid, which is why I brought up that comparison, because the stealth was the intention, but it wasn't very well implemented. Yeah. So you're like stealth. Oh fuck. Run and gun.
So, but if we're advancing to Payday for a moment, I will say that the stealth in Payday is really thought out, and that's why it is difficult. But that's also why they give you the option to just restart a mission. As soon as you trip up one little thing and fell, you can complete the mission if you want, running and gunning and killing 500 cops. You can do that, or you have that easy reset button. And if they didn't want you to like go through it, I think it's supposed to be tedious. You're supposed to learn how to play these missions. Like, that's the point, It feels rewarding after you've spent, 30 tries on this mission and you finally get it right. You're like, oh, right. We did it.
It's so detail-oriented. I mean, you have drills. You have, lines of sight, which cameras are recording.
Yeah, cell phones, cameras, guards, walkie-talkies, telephones, security checks. Like, there's so many elements, and you'll think you have it figured out. Like you'll be like, okay, cool, we did all the things, now we got it, and then they'll just throw something at you that you're like, well, what the fuck do we do about this? I guess we kill him.
I was just about to say that's the answer right there.
Who are the tanky motherfuckers? And like full body
the
armor.
Hurt Locker dudes.
Yeah, that's what we call them. The guys in like the bomb suits, I guess.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
But that's only when shit's gone really south. But I enjoy the stealth elements of Payday 2. But also, I enjoy the arcade shooting because, yeah, sure, you're mowing down 500 enemies, but there's definitely like strategy involved, especially once you're playing it on the harder difficulties with like enemies that can tase you and nuke you down really fast. Like you can't, if it's on easy, sure, you just kill waves of enemies with bullets, but on harder difficulties, it gets a lot more strategic even when you're just shooting during the gunplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Payday 2. It's a lot of fun. But I enjoyed Payday 1 too. I love any co-op. I'm just a big advocate for any co-op game. I'll probably enjoy it no matter what. But man, co-op bank robbing, I mean, it's hard to go wrong there.
I was just gonna say this. I just bought Far Cry 5. They do have co-op for Far Cry 5.
$8? Let me type
Mike's like
let me type this in real fast.
So is the co-op the reason why Warzone to a degree?
Yes. There's no, just stop your statement. Stop it.
I disagree. I enjoy playing Warzone by myself because I don't have to worry about you guys.
Okay. All right. But I see what you mean.
The people that carry you, is that what you're saying?
No, I see what he's saying, though, in the sense of, look, whether you're good or bad, it's the same reason. I like to hop on by myself a little bit because I can do whatever I want. If I'm just getting downed, if I'm trying to get a lot of money, or if I'm just trying to frag, you don't really have to worry about other people and what they want to do. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't want to fuck this up and lose all the money. Oh, I need to be involved in this team fight and I'm not there. I get what he's saying completely. That's why I do play solo sometimes. Sometimes I just like to drop and just run and gun. Just see how many people I can try to fucking kill. But sometimes I don't kill anyone.
But you're right. It is immensely more fun when you're playing co-op with, 3+.
But you're talking about the whole battle royale genre to me. I mean, I know people like to play that shit solo, but there's a reason why Apex, Warzone, Fortnite now, like people play these games because they're A, free, and B, you can play with friends. Like that's the only reason this genre succeeds.
I think it's only a matter of time until Fortnite's gone. I really think that Fortnite.
I think it has sticking power.
Really?
I think Fortnite is like Minecraft, and it kind of like built a genre. So you're just gonna have people like, sure, no one plays Minecraft these days, but people do still play Minecraft, and it's the same thing with Fortnite. You say it's antiquated, but I guarantee you there's 10 million users that disagree with you. So.
I mean, as far as the battle royale genre goes,
yes,
it was the epitome. It was the genesis of that genre. So you can't take that away from it. But all these other games have improved on it significantly.
But I think when you look at PUBG, that's the one that sucks now. Like
MySpace,
I don't know.
The hyperspace game or whatever.
No. I'm saying that
MySpace to Facebook.
No, MySpace was Fortnite.
Oh no, that's like Zanga or something.
Yeah. Well, no,
because it's the first popular. That's the point.
Zanga and LiveJournal and Friendster, like those were all big in their own right, but then MySpace ate them all. And I kind of see what Adam's saying. Like Adam actually has a very good point because there was kind of like DayZ and all these clones out there that were like the birth of the battle royale genres. where we're still kind of figuring out, do we need zombies in this to make it successful? And even Fortnite launched with like the zombie mode. You know, that was the paid mode. But no one gave a shit about it because I was like, oh, it's free and I can fight 100 people. Like, that's all I want to do.
And now whenever the battle royale genre originated, it was we need a kill zone to push people in. Well, the most recent battle royale to be released, quote unquote, it's in beta, it's hyperspace. You don't die if you're in the dead zone. It's just the environment deteriorates.
So you're saying it's negative to be in that area because you're just like it's shooting fish in a barrel. You're just out in the open.
You can just look and it's a character standing on blue glass.
Okay.
So it's still evolving. That's all I'm saying. MySpace was Fortnite and Facebook is who knows what.
But, well, it's something, you know, I know you like to shit on Fortnite, Mike, but, and don't get me wrong, I don't play Fortnite, so.
7 days a week.
But that being said, like, I do enjoy that they take risk with their game that maybe turns people off, whether it be fucking with the competitive nature of it, fucking with the nature of the game itself, like adding mechs, adding planes, all this shit. But I mean, in a game that's as old and as popular as Fortnite, yeah, you have to spice it up because, yeah, now you're competing with 10 other fucking battle royales that come out every year. So fuck it, like add mechs to your game, add concerts, you know, have Post Malone do a concert. I don't know, dude. I enjoy the fact that they are still trying to be like fresh with their game, even if it's not,
even though it's all cosmetic. Even though it's all cosmetic changes.
It's the concept of throwing things and seeing what sticks to the wall. Because it's
with a game like Fortnite, I think it's a good game to test.
It's an ever evolving genre of games right now. No one knows what's gonna come out superior. So every shooter and every original battle royale is just trying out new concepts. What do people like? What do people love? Eventually, someone's going to win.
I really think when I look at hyperspace gameplay, I see like the boardroom meeting to design that game. And they're like, all right, so Apex is the new hot shit. So what don't we have? Let's dig through a catalog. Okay, Doom, it's been remade. Tribes, that didn't work. It's too fast. People don't like it. Quake. Okay, people still like Quake, and it has these jump pads. All right. Let's take Apex and then let's make jump pads and like, you know,
with the Fortnite kind of cartoonish. It's not really. It's CGI.
Oh yeah. What's that new thing the Chinese are doing? Valorant, Overwatch. Yeah,
but it's not Call of Duty at all.
Yeah, it's not hyper realistic. So, but Apex is it's like a realistic future. But let's make it realistic, cartoony, futuristic Quake Apex. Like,
that is the tagline right there.
That's it. They just threw things into a blender, and I'm not saying that it's a bad game. It looks like the skill ceiling for it can be ridiculously high, but it definitely looks like a product that someone sat down. Yeah, it looks like a product that someone sat down and was like, all right, like we want to do Quake with Apex, but a little bit of Fortnite, like.
It's a Frankenstein of a game.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that makes it bad, but I don't know that it feels like it has its own identity. Because the moment Apex came out, I felt like it was fresh. Like Apex stood on its own, and even Warzone stands on its own. Like they're all the same game, but they have identities, which is why they stick. With Hyperspace, I know it's only beta and alpha. But watching it, I'm like, I don't know that it has such a fresh identity. It's to me that's Valorant also, like that's Valorant's problem. I know Valorant's a big game and everyone's playing it or whatever, but to me it doesn't have an identity. Like Overwatch, shit on it all you want, but it had an identity because Blizzard creates characters. It creates like a narrative. It's kind of like Team Fortress. Like, these games aren't original, but they have soul to them.
They get you invested in the characters.
Yeah.
what's so freaking fascinating about any of these companies that already have an underlying IP, like they already have characters to pull in.
Valorant.
I'm extremely curious to see Halo Infinite. It's coming out. Battle Royale is the big thing. Can you imagine an Halo Infinite without the Battle Royale? Like, do you think they would not pass up the opportunity to put it in as...
I was talking with people about this literally yesterday, and that's people were like, they're not going to put Battle Royale in Halo. And I was like, you're out of your mind.
They invented Big Team Battle.
Yeah, if a first-person shooter in 2020 that doesn't have a Battle Royale mode, I mean, I Far Cry 6 will be the first one without a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, why is Warzone so big? Because it's Call of Duty.
Because it's free and it's Call of Duty. And it's a Battle Royale.
Same mechanics, for free, Battle Royale.
I like the realism aspect to Warzone the most, though.
But
Like,
yeah, but that's been caused...
PUBG was around forever, and like Jason said, DayZ.
PUBG,
It's not.
PUBG to me never had an identity. I know people love PUBG, but it's the same. It's the Valorant. It's like it feels like a cheaper product.
It's these names, the names, and like you can latch onto. Oh, I'm playing Valorant. This is sort of like Call of Duty Overwatch. It's Call of Duty with. I mean, not Call of Duty. It's Counter-Strike with Overwatch style grenade abilities.
Well,
Call of Duty Warzone has Call of Duty. So the fact that Halo Infinite is not even like people should know, there's probably, unfortunately, depending on how you feel, going to be a battle royale mode. And if that's the most popular, if that's the most popular, like, are we going to have like first-person shooter multiplayer anymore?
Well,
as you said, you still have it in Call of Duty.
Even Counter-Strike has Battle Royale. So I guarantee Halo's
I wasn't even aware that Counter-Strike had Battle Royale.
Yep.
Was that like a newer patch, or how long has that been there?
It's been out. I think since Fortnite really kind of took off, they decided to make their own version. It's not nearly as fun as Warzone at all.
No, but see, to me, I don't know why. Like Call of Duty, I mean, look, I shitted on Call of Duty for years, but it's a pretty platinum product. Like there's a reason people go back and play it.
It's almost a triple A.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that all AAA titles are good, but yeah, it knows what it's doing. And Warzone, to me, that's why I didn't play PUBG. PUBG feels like I'm playing a cheap Call of Duty. Like it tries to be
a wannabe.
Yeah, it's a wannabe. And Valorant to me comes across as a Counter-Strike
wannabe
game. Yeah.
That they stole things from Overwatch.
Hyperspace to me feels like an Apex wannabe. It doesn't have enough of its own identity. Just because you put boost pads in your fucking game, like it's not called boost pads. Like
1 second.
Please,
one thing, what I appreciate about it is it's Overwatch mixed with Quake, and we haven't had a really solid movement system FPS in a very long time, and the younger generations haven't grown up with that. So what's really cool about Hyperspace is they're reintroducing the fact that moving is as important as shooting. So it's a much more complex game naturally because of that fact.
But you're gonna lose. It's hard because you lose a lot of casual audience. It's you can look at a game like Apex where the movement's a little more complex. There's like
esports, you teach the audience.
But that's still not a driver for me to want to play a game. A game this game takes so much skill to play. You have no idea. Like that's not a driver for me to want to play. It's
look at. No. Don't use real games. Don't do that. We're gonna use our video games. We're gonna use, and I'm gonna bring up two. I'm gonna bring up the fighting game genre. And I had another one. what we were talking about. Oh, and I'm gonna bring up Quake. I mean, Quake is still around, and people still play Quake. But do you seek out the new Quake? Sure, it's probably one of the most competitive FPSs on the market. But that's maybe
one of the most enjoyable to play.
But that's the reason why casuals don't seek it out. It's because the skill ceiling is already coming in high. And fighting games, everyone buys Mortal Kombat, sure. Well, you know, console users do. But you can look at like these fighting games. It's the best. This fighting game is the best fighting game, and it only sells less than 1 million copies because all that means to a casual audience is I'm about to get my ass whooped unless I sit down and play this game. Like, it's the only game I'm playing, you know?
True.
What do we always say? You need the low level of entry, but a decent skill ceiling. And that's why Fortnite is appealing. That's why Call of Duty is appealing. Anyone can grab an Uzi or a rocket or a shotgun and get behind a fucking door and get kills. Like,
yeah, if you turn the right corner, you can kill. No, if you turn the right corner, you can kill a pro.
Yeah,
if that pro is set up, you're gonna die time after time after time.
I disagree. I feel like my character in Warzone is holding a sign saying "Shoot me, shoot me." Or, you know, because for whatever reason, a helicopter is always chasing after me and always shooting me.
Well, I like the fact that you brought up it should work because it's like, oh, I shot him with a rocket. He's still alive. I'm not sure why. He dies sometimes.
Yep.
Well, Jason and I have an history in playing against the best of the best in games that don't necessarily make sense. So but that's
the skill ceiling. Again, that's what I talk about. It can, when you're playing a pro COD team, I imagine it feels like you're getting shot from the fucking trees because they're set up in such a way like you do in any FPS where they have vision on everything, they're communicating, so you're about to just get fucking team wiped and not even know what happened, you know? But that doesn't mean that you can't hop in and have a great time and win a game with your friends who are casuals and shitty, you know? Same thing with Fortnite.
I will say this, when you start to go pro towards any kind of game, you feel the different level immediately. Even in Dota, for me, when I was semi-pro, when we started doing like competitive matches, the tone felt completely different.
I'm so sorry. I like how you brought up Dota like it doesn't have like a huge competitive scene. Like, there's this game Dota, and you can kind of play it competitively. It just has the biggest prize pool of any game on the planet right now. But
more than League?
People don't.
Yeah, the
I'd be
Dota
surprised
2, maybe
no,
League
the international is fucking League.
What? Oh, is that? I thought it was Dota 2. No, the Invitational.
Dota.
The Invitational is Dota.
Oh, I sound dumb.
No. It is Dota. But what Mike is saying is there might be a bigger number of high-paying League tournaments where, sure, you have some big Dota tournaments, but maybe there's more prize money spread out.
Because it's so much more popular.
Yeah, but you're comparing, that's like baseball to football. Baseball has a fuck ton of games. Football has a lot less, and guess where the money is?
I wouldn't go that far. It's more like comparing college to NFL football because they're both in the same genre.
I think that's
fair.
No. Yeah, college to NFL.
Except for the fact that you don't have to pay the college players and they get fucked.
Right. Well,
which that's 2 hours in and of itself.
But no, that's an apt comparison. An apt comparison, I will say, is college and NFL to kind of like League and Dota.
Yeah, but anytime you play a game on a professional level or semi-professional level, the tone just feels completely different. Everything is magnified. It starts to feel like less fun.
Well, clearly because you've broken down whatever makes the game fun, and now the game becomes
It's math and numbers.
Yeah, it's
and
a spreadsheet. It's what's the most effective way to do anything: movement, shooting, talents, team compositions, layouts, map positioning. It becomes a
It's a job.
it becomes a mentally intensive ordeal. But some people enjoy that. I mean, look, there are games that I love to play casually, and every now and then I'll pick one up and I'll want to fucking play it for real, or play it competitively, whatever. And most of the time I get burnt out fairly fucking quickly because I have that mentality. I think it is the problem with fighting games. I love the fighting game genre, but every time I pick one up, you better believe I grind out 40, 60 hours in training. I think I'll get my ass kicked for fucking another 50 hours online. And you realize that like if you want to get good, you're going to have to put 500, 1,000 hours into this shit, playing it like you want to win. And I think if you don't love it, if the game doesn't resonate like with your soul, then you're going to hate it and you're going to get burnt out. Or you're just going to hate your life. If you're not burnt out, you are just not going to enjoy playing this game at a competitive level. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I love Super Smash Brothers, but I got burnt out of that pretty badly. I'm still trying to figure out a way to get back into it and start playing it again.
well,
but-
again, fighting genre, you hit that level that you're perfectly average, maybe a little above. But like you're saying, man, if I want to get in that next tier of competition, I'm going to have to sit down and put like work into getting better.
Mhm.
And that's, again, if you don't have that passion, that drive for the game, then what is your motivation other than to hate yourself?
We're talking about the differences a person who casually plays as opposed to someone who sits there and practices combos, like button combinations, over and over and over and over.
But that's how you get good at those games, where it's muscle memory, you know.
Yep.
But not even that. There are other levels. You're talking about, you say a casual player. There's a casual player, and then there's a player who's maybe casual, but he's more adept at a fighting or an FPS genre, who's going to come in hotter. Maybe there's an old pro who's jumping from Call of Duty to the new Quake or Hyperspace. He's clearly he's a casual player, but his skill level is so much higher than these players coming in. So it's just kind of like, yeah, like how much of your time do you want to spend at trying to be the best at this game? And is it worth it? Are you happy? Are you getting anything out of this? Are you winning money?
I'm going on year 20 right now on StarCraft, so I'll let you know in another 10 years.
Exactly.
Now, see, my biggest issue has always been people ask me, like, why don't you pick up this game? Why don't you pick up this game? We'd be a great team together. But as Jason was saying, unless I'm going to commit myself, because if I focus and I'm dedicated, I want to be the best, period. And there's certain games that I'm not going to play it. Like, unless I'm going to try to be better than everyone else. It's a waste of time. At least to me, the way that I think.
Yes. Well, and that's why I think these co-op games have such kind of like lasting power. Again, Warzone, Fortnite, yada, yada, Payday. It's because even if you lose playing with your friends, really, that's the enjoyment you're getting out of this game. It's the social aspect of it, not so much I need to win every fucking game, you know.
You get the teammate aspect, like you're playing as a team, you're communicating, etc., but you don't have so much on the line whenever you're like, we need to win. But you get the same camaraderie, I guess. I mean, it's probably goes back to like high school, middle school sports, like
any kind of group activity, you know.
There's something that feels good about that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, speaking of those kind of sports, did you guys see Oakley debuted their COVID mask / helmet for the NFL?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's I mean I think it's a good
wouldn't wear it.
solution.
I wouldn't
See,
wear it.
I guess we're gonna put a link down below because I need to see it and everyone else does.
well, you said it was a full face mask, and
They're
I
giving
thought the eyes were
the
open.
visor part is now in automatically, but there's now a separate shield covering the mouth and nose area.
You sure, face shield to protect. Yeah, you're right. It is fully shit. I couldn't see that on ESPN yesterday. I could not see that it fully covered. Yeah, I mean, once you get going, I mean, unless this has like some anti-fog technology, and then let's say it doesn't fog. Let's say you don't have to worry about it fogging up, impairing your vision. I mean, you're already wearing a helmet, so your vision's pretty fucking impaired already.
Yep.
I just can't imagine how much hotter your head's gonna be in a fucking furnace. I mean, it's already in a furnace, but now there's like no airflow, so you better be putting ACs in those. I mean,
My biggest question I have is they put these whole basically circles in the mouth portion of the
yeah, I see these.
and it's
yeah.
like
Why are you wearing?
what's the point then? They say it's gonna stop it. They say it's designed to stop.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying with
But
these holes.
I don't get it.
Yeah, are you gonna put a mask over the holes? I mean,
For the record, once and for all, the mask does not protect you. It protects everyone around you.
but to Mike's credit, it has open, visible holes. So
Which are going to spray everyone around you.
no, it will reduce. It will like if a man sneezes in this, sure, particles are only coming out those air holes, but they're still coming out. So why don't you do the eye shield, and then you could do fabric around the bottom of that?
Okay,
Like, I don't see why you don't.
A face shield would work, but the CDC has literally called masks like that targeted sprays because everything goes out through that. You're basically cyclopsing the virus into someone's face.
You become an X-Man at spreading viruses.
The NFL, I saw a thing earlier this week. They were quoted saying, "We absolutely expect players to get sick. Absolutely are expecting it." Now,
I take the virus.
Has it, so
I take it very seriously, and if you get paid millions and millions of dollars, I'm not super upset unless you go home. If you go home and you hang out around your family, fuck you. But if you're in the best physical shape of, I don't know, the 0.5% of human beings.
you're talking about the NFL players?
Yeah.
I mean, their body goes through all kinds of fucking stress and just physical abuse that the normal. Sure, we might have to deal with shit like being overweight, like not having the best cardio. But I mean, you're talking about most of these NFL players have already had like multiple surgeries, multiple fucking implants and all kinds of shit. And they're probably on a bunch of medication for pain and stuff, I know that's kind of like an epidemic. So, yeah, I mean, I imagine catching the virus probably wouldn't be too good for them either. Especially, you're talking about in a cardiovascular sport. I mean, if it fucks up 10% of people's lungs that get infected with it, I mean, you're talking about your career could be fucking over.
I mean, what if Dak Prescott, let's just say hypothetically, someone like Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes.
I thought Dak did get it. Didn't he get it?
No,
Zeke got it.
Zeke got it. Yeah.
But someone who has a mega contract like Patrick Mahomes, I guarantee you Kansas City Chief fans are going to be holding their breaths anytime Patrick Mahomes gets hit or gets sacked to the ground, or especially he's one injury away from them losing their entire franchise.
I mean, to be fair, everyone should be holding their breath in public.
That's true.
True.
No, but that's any NFL quarterback. Any NFL player is one injury away from ending their career.
I mean, well, furthermore, with the COVID though, with with people's lungs seeming to be taking damage
Permanently.
yeah, like what if some of these football players, they aren't able to play football anymore?
Oh no, I definitely agree with you. And the one we just talked about Zeke having it, so going back to like the average guy, let's say an average guy gets COVID, doesn't show any symptoms, and he turns out to be like one of the 10% of people or I don't even know what number percentile that your lungs get permanent damage, your heart gets permanent damage. You might not notice it as an average Joe so much. You might just notice, maybe I'm a little more tired getting out of bed. Maybe I'm a little more winded after a workout. And it might not affect you till later in life. But you better believe someone like Zeke is going to be on the field. And yeah, after like a minute, he's probably going to be like, man, I'm fucking tired. Like,
He's like,
why?
this is not normal.
Yeah. I used to be able to go out here and do whatever. I feel like I've aged 20 fucking years. Like, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, it's a real concern, I imagine.
I understand Adam's view of like, they're getting paid a lot of money to come out here and
That's
perform.
my view also.
Oh, okay. But at what point does it become reckless?
Well, but
I don't believe that they should be forced to play. My
Sure,
point
no.
is, if you choose to play, don't complain, because you're basically already getting hazard pay.
And
Like,
and you do have a players union, and you can absolutely go on strike.
Oh,
know?
they're
And
not-
y'all can say this is not going to happen. We're so afraid for our lives and our families that we're going to be around. We're not playing. That's their option, and that should be everyone's option. But if you choose to play and make $100 million, I'm sorry. You don't get to whine at that point. You made a bad decision.
I mean, there's negotiations going back and forth right now because the NFL expects to lose so much revenue.
They're billionaires.
The NFL actually, I heard a proposal that they were going to give out forms, basically waivers to fans saying you're allowed to show up for the game, but if you catch COVID and you're out there, it's at your own risk.
I wouldn't go to a Cowboys Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
In Houston or in Dallas, fuck you, Mike. I wouldn't go to a Cowboys Super Bowl if I had to sign a waiver. I'd be like, no, not worth it.
I mean, do we have any knowledge of? Are they just gonna do a normal stadium seating?
6 feet. I mean, imagine 6
Every
feet
other
apart?
seat,
I
yeah,
don't
every
know.
other seat, every 2 seats. I mean, I imagine that is how they're gonna have to do it. It's still money. I mean, you're making money still. So you can do what the Japanese do and put robots in their stands, but
Or the Koreans use stuffed toys.
do they really?
Or we could just have a serious 6-week lockdown. It wasn't New Zealand, I think, today just said
They have no cases.
open for business.
Yeah, but
But how long does that last? See, that's the problem. Until it's globally annihilated, okay, you're open. You have 0 cases. How long till someone comes in and coughs on you,
All right, so we're going to migrate into this. New stories out today say that the antibodies may only last for 2 to 3 months, which means COVID could last forever. If you take a vaccine, guess what? You're healthy for 3 months.
the only way it would work is if everyone in the world stayed vaccinated until it was completely gone. Like everyone in the world would have to stay vaccinated consistently, constantly.
Humans are selfish and awful, so that's not going to happen. So, our gas mask, the new, look at how it's decorated. I got Louis Vuitton.
Personally, I have found it so draining to wake up each day and be like, is this the day that we're gonna be closer to an answer? Like, is this the day that we're gonna be, moving towards getting this shit over with? And that, after a couple months, has just worn me out to the point where based off of all the information that's coming out, I am just preparing myself mentally for the fact that this may be a permanent passenger.
It might be, the new normal. Yeah.
Which means our lives this is the new norm.
This is the new norm. This is my desk. I've taken all my names off of this. Nasal spray. Vitamin C.
You're just showing me things you're taking care of. You should be taking this shit every day, regardless of a pandemic.
Mucinex. Vitamin D.
Adam's got a
little
prescription
pharmacy. Vitamin D. I got vitamin D from the fucking GMC store.
What is that, like 10,000?
Yeah, people do that. They do like 10,000 or 15 or 20
wow.
or 50.
This is 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000.
What?
You take it. Do you take it once a month? Is that what it is?
It's once every week.
You're taking 50,000 every week?
I was about to say, it is possible.
I need to megadose mine.
No, it is possible to get poisoning from vitamin D.
Yeah,
it is possible.
Well, but it depends. I think
I took a blood test and my vitamin D was like at 5 or some shit. It was basically I had none.
Vitamin D, yeah.
Well,
is that the new future?
It could be. I mean, we're speculating, but
is this the new future?
Could very well be.
Adams, your mask is so fashionable. Is that
mine's just a black mask? I don't know. I'll leave it in my car. I don't care. The sun purifies it.
The sun purifies.
Yeah, those sun rays kill it.
I know. No, that's what Trump said. I know. I agree with you.
So.
My point is that our future? What do y'all think?
That's a big question mark. I imagine that we're maybe going through something, maybe like they did. What's it called when the Cold War? People were worried that every day it's is this it? We gonna launch nukes? I imagine we're probably going through something similar.
I think
right now
we need to now. I know this has kind of become politicized, but my purpose is not to be political.
To be political, yes.
But I feel like we really need to start following the advice of our medical
trained medical experts.
Yes, like Dr. Fauci and stuff.
An expert is someone that studied something for 10,000 hours. That's the definition. So. So 20
You think 10 years of medical experience? Oh my God, Jason, you're such a sheep.
No, well, but Mike is correct. Anyone with 10 plus years probably has a better grasp than anyone on Facebook, anyone on social media, anyone on Twitter, any politician. I mean, and I'm not talking just about Mr. POTUS. I'm talking about governors. I'm talking about anyone at lower levels too. They should enact policies that reflect, the best knowledge that you have.
Now I say this, and I'm going to directly contradict myself.
Okay.
So the medical experts are saying that it's okay for kids to go back to school.
I have seen that. I've seen that putting out guidelines now. And but I guess you could argue that maybe I don't have the data in front of me, nor have I really looked up on it. But I thought it was not affecting kids to any kind of serious level.
It's not killing them. The problem is that they could go to school.
They could spread it, and give it to your parents.
Take it home and your parents and your grandparents. Mm-hmm. My daughter could go to school, bring it home, and kill me.
Hmm.
No, how many times have we said we need a new plague? I'm just saying that Maybe it's time,
Way
and
too
maybe that
soon,
time
Jason.
is now.
Way too soon.
I'm not disagreeing with Jason. I just hope I'm not a member of it. But
Exactly, yeah. The scary thing is you could be one of the 60%ers that your life is fucked.
This thing is so wacky.
honestly, to a degree, though, the planet itself and humanity 5 years from now might be better off.
You're not. Yes, from a like. That's what I was thinking. I've thought about it too.
A
You're just talking about,
logical,
overpopulation, resources,
an unemotional way of looking at it.
Mike's like, I don't know what's happening here.
No, because Mike is like he cares about everyone. He doesn't want people to die.
I don't want people to
You'll
die.
see. I will agree with you to a point. That I think we're going to see more people are going to be woke in the sense of like, hey, this is how germs spread.
Please don't use woke.
We need to be cognizant of passing germs. Like in Asian countries, masks have been a regular thing. Like
as in if you are sick, you wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like that is how you let other people know that you're not feeling well, and that is how you stop your footprint.
So I'll agree with you up to that point. But even the amount of deaths that we're getting right now, which is too much, is not going to affect how much food is available on the planet.
I see what you're saying.
There will be ripple effects. There will be deaths.
But yeah, as Adam's pointing out, what I've thought about is the so if I'm just gonna throw out a number because I don't know the data, but let's say 20% of people are getting these lung conditions, these heart conditions, whatever,
blood clots
also. So if they die at a much younger age, if you're cutting their life expectancy in half or something because of these conditions, yeah, you're talking about you could have a pretty big die-off in the next 20, 30, 40 years that does give us a little more time when it comes to things like overpopulation. It won't give the population much time because, shit, if you went from 5 billion, 6 billion down to 5, you're just going to hop right back up to 6 in like one generation. So, but you use the term woke when it comes to like being educated on sicknesses. I think hopefully people will be more aware of the hoax that is global warming and how it's not a hoax and how see the joke is that you can clearly see in a lot of areas what nature coming back to certain areas, places being cleaner. Not like less polluted. I mean, like not.
It's trying
polluted.
to stabilize itself.
Yeah. Clean rivers, clean areas, because it doesn't have a human footprint. Like, I hope that you could look at those things and be like, look, this river, you can swim in it. It's not full of garbage and trash. It's blue. It's not brown. Like, this is happening because you don't have 100,000 people dumping shit into it every day. Like.
Yeah, I will say this. There hasn't been a lot of stuff in the news about, before the pre-COVID world, it was like civil war in Syria still going on. You know what I mean?
Refugees still coming over.
Yeah, like, all sorts of things that just seem like they've all fallen to the wayside now. Like, I think the only thing I saw was like something in like Niger. There was a like Hezbollah like fight or something like that with like anti-terrorists that they had there. But I mean, as far as conflicts in the world, like aside from like North Korea, I guess,
Oh, I think the conflicts are still happening. They're just not at the forefront. I mean, it takes a back seat.
There's an extremely important caveat to make to that statement because a lot of the anti-maskers, anti-future vaskers, they are all saying that, oh, well, the riots died down, so now COVID's back and it's the big news cycle. So we need to specify and point out the fact that just because the news isn't covering it
Yes.
doesn't mean
that it's
that
not happening.
there's not children that are being locked up at the border and separated from their families. There's not slavery that's taking place
Religious
in portions
wars,
of the Middle
civil
East. There's not,
wars.
there's not civil wars. None of this has gone away. They're just going for news clicks and advertising, and all these things exist. And
The
it's not
global pandemic is the news. I mean, no one cares. Oh, a missile was launched and 15 people died in the Middle East. People honestly kind of took a backseat to that kind of news prior to this pandemic. So you can imagine now, like, yeah, it's just not profitable, as terrible as that is. But I mean, but that's how a lot of these news companies think. The big one is what's driving your advertiser dollars,
Well, Bill Gates was talking about how he thinks that if there is a vaccine that is created, that it's going to be very dangerous if there becomes a bidding war between countries.
The biggest problem that I see is that they're now saying the antibodies may not necessarily last. So the vaccine, which may or may not be created and be effective, could possibly only last for 3 months. So that means you're getting 4 shots a year. How much money would it cost to give 4 shots a year to every single human on Earth until this is completely annihilated?
Oh, you're the biggest pharmaceutical company on the planet. I mean, you would be the biggest pharmaceutical company on the planet to be able to do that.
You would be the biggest corporation on Earth, period. Fuck Amazon.
And then
you're now God.
Yeah, and then to your argument, the problem is let's say it's not like the flu where it's like, okay, you can do this in first world countries, because guess what? If you just leave Africa out of the mix or whatever, the poorest country you can think of, it's so contagious that it's just gonna spread right back to you. It's gonna it's gonna take 2 months, just like it took 2 months to get out of China, but it's going to come right back to you if you don't figure out how the fuck to get it.
Yep.
So the question is, to a degree, I could honestly see like continents being shut off, entire billions of people being left to die.
Well, I mean, look at what's happening to Texas and Florida. Like, people want to say, oh, well, we're doing more testing than we've ever done. Okay, that doesn't account for the overflow in hospitals. It doesn't account for the fact that, for how long now Florida has been shattering infection numbers, and they also happen to be the ones that opened up the quickest.
We do need to be transparent, though. They are testing all positives, and some people do get tests multiple times. So that does lead to a rise. But the hospital numbers are by far the most important. Hospital numbers and rates of death are spiking compared to last year. So clearly, it has to be related to something that's occurring right now, and COVID is occurring right now.
Mm-hmm. I see. My whole thing is I'm really worried of it mutating. Like, even if we vaccinate 97% of the population, there's still a chance from infection to infection that it can mutate within that 3% of the population, which you probably said is going to be like a third world country, a country that does not have access to medical supplies like we do, or like the Western world does in general. So what if it mutates into something else, and the vaccine that 97% of the world is vaccinated on is now ineffective?
So what do you say to the conspiracy theorists that say that the vaccine itself is some global government way of tracking you. Besides the fact that they already track your browser history, your cell phone location. Edward Snowden pointed out all this. How do you convince the individuals who are, I don't even like to use the word paranoid. I would prefer to say cautious.
I would like to say not living in reality. That's one way I would describe it.
But that still sounds like you're making fun of them. I'm saying, how do you reason with them? Like, because
we're talking about unreasonable people. They think that vaccines give people autism, which is not true. You know,
they're not likely to cause it, but any injection can have adverse effects.
True.
So you have to meet them on some sort of middle ground and say, hey, the human population, like, we need to come together and, I don't know, not trust the government, but just take a risk together. And even that is going to sound negative to them.
But it's those people, and it's also the people that don't want to wear masks because they feel like it's an infringement on their rights. Like, and to those people, I would say, like, yeah, I understand your rights are super important to you, but can you just, like, hop on the train for, like, just a little bit so, you know, we can try and make some progress on this thing? Like, not telling you to do it forever. And I mean, the government already, literally, you pay taxes. You could argue that you are a slave to the government already in more ways than one.
You have a number. Snowden proved that they tracked your phone. They tracked your internet history. And while they may not look at it, if you became a suspect of interest, they can, like, break down your life and put into categories.
Right. Yeah. And
we lost that fight.
And to say that
someone
a mask,
to say that a mask is a greater infringement than what has already occurred is silly. Although I wish you were fighting that same fight 10 years ago. But what do you do? What do you say? What do you...
But we'll see, then we probably wouldn't have contact tracing. We wouldn't have the ability to issue Amber Alerts. Like, there's some good things that have come out of this. We're able to, when someone shoots up a school or shoots up a place in Las Vegas, we're able to track through their entire digital footprint, you know, and see what exactly these people were doing, who they were speaking with, what led them to do what they did. You know, everyone wants to think that, you know, oh man, Joe Schmo's privacy is being invaded, but, you know, what are we getting back as a society? And I would argue it's maybe a 50-50 trade.
I'm gonna disagree.
I sort of agree. Not 100% with what you said, Mike, but I do think that, yes, I think people have this whole, like, the problem is once they have my browser history and my text messages and my jogging path, that, and I say they because obviously it's just sitting in some database waiting to be, no one's sitting here like reading it. No one cares what you're doing today. But
it's just stored. They can look.
Yeah, it's just stored. But then, yeah, when I go out and I blow something up, they can go back and go, hey, look, now we have a reason to look at all this information. Let's see if we can get something out of this. Sometimes it doesn't lead to anything because guess what? People know that they're being tracked also. So it can be helpful, but I don't know. I think, like you said, I think a lot of people have the fear of, like, well, my privacy is being invaded all the time. To some degree it is, but really that information is never utilized until you have done something to have the FBI trying to unlock your fucking iPhone. You know, like,
Hey, if you are so concerned about your privacy, then you shouldn't have a smartphone. Period.
Yep.
Your apps track you.
Yep.
I mean, Google Maps tracks you.
To an extent, like you said, it is the trade-off that you say when you decide, and people will say, well, it's necessary. It's necessary. I mean, it really isn't. You can live a perfectly average life, grow your vegetables, get on some solar panels, and you don't have to be bothered by anyone. It's going to be a boring life, and it's not going to be a life with much entertainment, but guess what? Turn back the clock 150 years, that's how everyone was living. So it's really not that different, but you want to subscribe to all the new cool tech, as Elon Musk calls it. You want to be human 2.0. You want to be an upgraded human. Part of what being an upgraded human means is, well, you got to be on networks. I mean, you got to be on someone's radar.
I am going to get on a soapbox for 1 minute.
Go for it. I got the stopwatch. Click.
I was one of the individuals that I had my GPS location on my phone turned off probably 10 years ago. I turned it on whenever I needed to use Google Maps, and I would turn it back off again. I was someone who was extremely concerned about privacy. Then you have Edward Snowden come out. What was it? Probably 4 or 5 years ago now?
I think it was longer than that.
And he blatantly shows the entire populace, the entire American public, what's going on.
7 years ago.
They're even tracking the pipeways that are laid underneath the ocean and how they can see when people move around. They know everything. I thought it was going to be a turning point. It was not.
But this is my argument. If you want to be human 2.0, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's morally or ethically correct at all. But if you want to subscribe to Human 2.0 and America and have the best smartphone, have the fastest shit, and watch your Netflix, yeah, I mean, this is what you sign up for, and you don't need any of it. You don't need any of these attachments, entertainment. But it means that you will live a much more modest lifestyle. And
it's a much more comfortable life.
I said modest, and it could, yes, you want to be comfortable. And guess what? All the people bitching about it, the Twitter warriors, they're only tweeting because they subscribe to the same fucking. They want people. You know what I mean? It's. I don't know. No one wants to be tracked, but then, like you said, no one wants to do anything about it because you don't want to lose what you have. I mean,
so the highest quality of life, if that's what we're talking about, would be the 90s, because the 90s, that's a time where you weren't being tracked as much because the internet was still.
It was impossible.
Stage.
It was young.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the technology, really. I don't think we had all the satellites that we have now and stuff.
But taking it further, you would have to live off the grid. You would have to have no internet whatsoever. I enjoy the fact that I have a GPS on my phone so that I will never get lost when I'm driving. Like, I will always know where I am. Now, if I have to give Google some of my information of where I went and how quickly I got there, what is that to me? Now, if there was a place where that data was like, I could control that data and sell it, that'd be different. But the thing is it's all through these prearranged contracts. It's the accept the terms and of service, and that's the trade-off is, having these useful pieces of technology.
Can I pose a hypothetical?
Absolutely.
while it currently does not, in a hypothetical world in which our representatives actually worked for us, wouldn't it seem fair that you can take the problem or possibly the solution of checks being delivered to average Americans monthly, weekly, whatever it be, for their data, while these massive corporations also ranked in a lot of the profit? It's not redistribution as much as these corporations are paying Americans due to technological advancement, and they're also making a lot of money in the process. Because it's only going to get worse in the future. That's why we have dystopian entertainment. That's why Blade Runner. That's why Westworld season 3, which
Yeah.
I'm 3 episodes away from finishing, and I'm going to talk about next week, is important. There are middle grounds in which the rich can stay rich and even get richer, but you can take the individuals that don't own these companies and pull them up at the same time.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I actually had an idea of, you know how essentially you have an electric bill every month, right? What if internet was free, but you got a bill at the end of the month for how much data you used? So potentially you could be like, I mean, I spend close to $100 every month for my internet. Now, would I say that I use $100 worth? Probably not. But controlling. Go ahead, Adam.
People like me, you, and Jason are going to be spending a lot more on internet, which essentially is just electricity. Like, why aren't we not paying for the electricity and the signals being distributed? Like, why am I what's the term?
Metered?
I don't know.
Is that what
No. Why am I offsetting the cost of someone who doesn't use much internet? Like, yes, I want the low income household and the kid that now needs to stay home and have a computer and use the internet. I want him to be able to become educated without having to go into a coronavirus schoolyard, school building, right?
Absolutely.
But just because we voice chat, we video chat, we stream, we whatever, are we the ones that should be offsetting that, or should the joint taxes in themselves, which taxes is a whole nother conversation, be equally distributed? Jason, I know you have strong opinions about it.
Jason
so
starts doing this.
I don't have strong opinions. That's a problem. I mean, I just don't understand how we got into the discussion of how the internet is monetized, how data is monetized. I mean, I would argue that you should make it free, like Mike said. But the free, it would be like any
nothing's ever free though.
But that's so it's just like companies do. Here's your free internet, but it's slow. All right, slower. You can subscribe to monthly bills and make it faster. Really, that's what we already have. I mean, we don't have free internet. But we had Obama phones. That's free. I mean, shit.
Mike, what'd you say?
I was just saying more of a metered approach.
I don't like that at all. as someone that has unlimited internet in my area, like I pay a monthly fee and it doesn't matter. I could be downloading the whole fucking internet and I'm not gonna have to pay anymore. I mean, I like that system.
If you mind me asking.
Yeah.
What's your speed?
It's not great. You're definitely faster than me. I haven't changed my contract in like 5 years. So I know there are like better speeds available. I think I'm 100 whatever MPS. So I mean it's fast, but I know that you guys have like newer internets. So but again, I mean I don't want to have to pay more. That's me being selfish.
I'm gonna come to Jason's rescue here because I can tell this is not something that stokes his fire. But I will say this: I did finish watching Ozarks. I am completely caught up on Ozarks. I know Adam watched it. Unfortunately, Jason, you did not.
I don't watch Ozarks.
Highly recommended. It's the same formula as Breaking Bad.
But did it get better? I remember that you said it was like declining as you went along.
Season 1, I would say was really. I'd give it like an 8, maybe 8.5. Season 2.
The pause question is, Jason, spoiler or not?
No, you can talk about spoilers. I have no plans to watch Ozark.
All right, go ahead.
I would say season 2 was a little bit of a dip, but season 3 was fantastic up until the ending.
So you did not enjoy
you don't remember. Got it.
No, you did not enjoy main characters being shot in the head.
I'm okay with it. I just didn't think it made any sense.
Isn't that what happens in those type of shows? So that's why everyone always watches. That's why you watch the Sopranos or Breaking Bad or something. It's the main characters can die.
Well, the Gustavo Fring of the show, to bring it full circle, he decides to take out one of his longtime confidants.
Okay.
And puts himself in a weaker position. For no reason. Like, there was no reason to kill said person. So, now, you can argue...
why did he kill him?
Because
there has to be a reason.
There was an the argument is, well, they weren't getting along with the main characters of the show, which would be Jason Bateman and his wife.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's like, she had such a fluid position. She was a lawyer. He shot and killed his lawyer. So it's like, it's not like this person was not useful to you.
And he killed them because they weren't getting along? Was she gonna like bring him to the police or something?
Jason Bateman and his wife had this money laundering operation going on.
Yeah. I'm aware of
and she was basically saying that, well, if they were out of the picture, I could probably run it better. Now, did that mean that he had to kill one of the two groups? No. Like, they could have just separated them. I mean, so I get it. It's drama. It's, tension, is good for story, but it just seemed way out of left field, honestly.
What I would say is this is hands down by far fucking home run. This is Jason Bateman's best role that he has ever played.
I never even liked him that much, but I enjoy his character now a lot.
He is phenomenal. His wife Wendy is, what's her name? Is it Skylar Breaking Bad?
Right. Yeah.
Skylar is Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Wendy has a lot of Skylar when it comes to season 1 and a bit of season 2. and this is season 3, right? It would basically be if Skylar got on board with Walt, and then how do I make this not sexist?
It would be like if she was just as vicious as Walt.
As Walter, yeah. She's like, okay, I like your company, and then she becomes the female Walter White. Yeah.
Basically.
But she made illogical decisions. Like she didn't calmly and calculated think out what she was going to do, but she thought they were the right things to do. That's whenever her character started to like crash and burn, in my opinion.
Why in Breaking Bad does Gustavo want to kill Walt and Jesse? What's the beef? Is it because they're wanting to do their own shit? Or it's because Jesse's a liability, I guess, or something like that?
Jesse's liability and Walt can't be controlled. Like Gustavo is the...
So is that kind of how she is? Can she just like not be controlled?
She thinks she knows better. That's a problem.
I kind of agree with what Mike says though. Like what a jump. Why don't you just go rough her up? Get some guys and go tune her up and say, and if you do it again, yeah, your legs are not just gonna be broke. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like mafia people are criminals, you know, like they send a message, but yeah, you don't like just kill your lawyer, as Mike says.
He put himself in a weaker position, which I don't understand.
I think that they did not understand her. They underestimated her. They did not think, because she was very much stereotypical. I'm a sad, scared woman. And then once Jason Bateman's character like explained like, this is our life now, I was lying to you, but here's where we are. She gets very cold, stern faced. Like they obviously were married for a reason. They related to that fact of sometimes shit needs to get done, and she takes a little too far. Would you disagree, Mike?
No, not at all. That's pretty much spot on. You, Jason, you did not see Hamilton, correct?
No, I don't know that I you know what? I don't have anything like severely against it. I will probably watch it at some point. But I mean,
do it in 2 parts when it says
intermission,
like the 2-part thing. Yeah, but I mean,
take a day and then watch it a day or 2 later.
But that's not how you would watch it on Broadway, so why would I watch it like that?
See, you stole what I was gonna say, Jason. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I think it was a better idea on paper? Yes. Do I think that there is something lost from watching a performance, a live musical performance on a Netflix type stream? I absolutely think there is. It's kind of like what you guys used to talk about, seeing certain movies on the big screen just made it that much better. And I think if I had seen Hamilton in person, I'd probably have much more better things to say about it. But I
disagree.
I enjoyed it. Wasn't amazing. I don't think it lived up to the hype.
I don't disagree. I think that seeing a play, like I hated the movie Rent, and Phantom of the Opera is so, but watching like the DVD of Phantom of the Opera is very, like the live performance, it's very good. And then even seeing like Rent locally at my local theater, I'm like, wow, like this is great, you know, because it's just things, you know, being in the audience, being there, you're you're part of it all, you know. But yeah, you're watching it, you know, no thanks.
Yeah, but you're comparing it to Phantom of the Opera, which was a dramatized film. Hamilton was actually
yeah, it's the live.
It was 3 or 4 recordings that they cut together. So not only were you seeing the actual stage acting, but you also had multiple takes, so they could piece together the best of what it was.
Yeah.
And I personally still think it's phenomenal. And Aaron Burr, who's supposed to be the quote unquote bad guy because he kills Hamilton and whatever.
Spoiler alert.
I know the story. That's not a spoiler. That's a spoiler from 250 years ago.
Exactly. His acting, singing was fucking incredible. The story pieced together was amazing. The second half was clearly not as good as the first half, but I mean, the first half is the introduction of all the characters. It's the revolution. It's all these important moments in their life, and then the second half is like post-war, them trying to build the country, and it's gonna naturally.
Yeah, it slows down.
I don't want to say boring, but yeah, slow.
See, to me, the only memorable thing to me, the most memorable thing would probably be the actor that played King George, who's also plays Holden Ford on Mindhunter. Yes. He was very, very memorable. He was funny. He was very articulate. He even sang. I didn't even know he could sing, but he sang really well.
Not to be the white knight, but I don't like the term articulate. I feel like it has negative implication.
I just said he was well. I just meant he was well spoken.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point of his character. His character is nobility. Well, I guess they were all even the revolutionists were pretty well educated. I mean, they were all super well educated. But, yeah, I mean, his song's supposed to be a little classier, upper class. Like, that's the point, you know, like, he's a king. So.
As Adam would say, bougie.
Bougie, yeah.
Bougie. He was also,
across like that.
He was, what's his name? Kristoff? He was in Frozen. He was the guy with the rain.
I think is his name.
He was the guy with the reindeer.
Oh, okay.
If you've seen Frozen.
I have not seen Frozen.
Well,
unfortunately.
When you have children, you see like
1,000 times.
It's probably 20, maybe 30.
That's still a lot. I haven't seen many things 20 or 30 times. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I think it would be better in person though, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Patreon's going to be fun.
Yeah, right. I don't have Disney Plus. I don't. So
why? You've got Mighty Ducks. You've got the Ninja Turtles.
Bro, you should get the Disney bundle. Now, they tricked me, okay? I explained to you how they tricked me into the bundle.
No, I want a completed me and Jason not talking, Mike explaining this fucking ripoff.
I don't quite understand how they're able to say it, but it said, I got an email saying, for 1 cent more, you can get the bundle, and this is a limited time offer of Disney, Hulu Plus, and ESPN Plus. And it came out to the full price. So I don't quite understand what they were trying to what their angle was, but it definitely wasn't a penny extra. But I will say it was worth it. because I've been checking out ESPN Plus is $6 or $7 or something like that on its own. And I've been watching all these original ESPN content that they have. Like they must be paying Peyton Manning a lot of money because he has his own show on there called Peyton's Place. And then he also has these segments called something detail, but basically I watched him break down Phillip Rivers' football mechanics for half an hour. And
he's generous.
And he does that with all these other football characters, all these other football players.
Pause. Does he do Romo?
I don't know. I didn't see all of them. Possibly. But and Peyton Manning is a funny guy. Like I can't not like Peyton Manning. He's Captain America basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was worth it, man. I gotta say.
So what do you think of the Redskins dropping that? First of all, why are they calling it a nickname?
That's the one whole thing. Look,
and it annoys me, right?
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's the team title.
They're like changing their nickname and their logo. I'm like, their nickname, or it's the Cowboys the nickname for something that I'm not aware of. Like, yeah, it's the Redskins are what the team is called. They're the Washington Redskins. You're changing your name and your logo because it has been deemed offensive. Not your nickname. Yeah, it's so strange to me that they keep using that term.
They've had that name for 80-something years.
Yeah, it was never another name. Like, so.
Is it a nickname, Mike?
I'm just glad that they're changing it. I
honestly am glad to have that one just in the bag. Just get it the fuck out of there. We talk about it every 5 years anyway. It's always some big petition, some big thing, and then okay, it sticks. Next 5 years rolls around, we do it again. You're talking about again these, the players have to play. Their contracts are so big, so put up with COVID. But oh Lord, we can't change a name. We can't change some letters and call ourselves the Washington Hummingbirds or whatever.
Like Jason, if the Cowboys,
here we go.
If the term "the Cowboys" was deemed offensive, would you honestly give a fuck? It's the same player, same team, same organization.
Hey, I might because I wouldn't see the logic. Look. Yeah, I would be mad if they.
But it's not about the logic because you can always make a logic. Like people are gonna no, because people have said, "Oh, the Redskins." It's
It is.
It's representing and cherishing the history, blah, blah, blah.
They can say that, but Redskin was a derogatory term used against Indians. It's just what it is. Do we have we have an Asian person here, so how about we have the fucking Philadelphia Yellowskins, okay? I'm making a Chinese face, No, that shit would not fly, but maybe 88 years ago it would have.
No, my point is, it's just a team name.
Yeah, but there's connotations behind those words, though. Like Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not defending. I'm saying it should be easy to replace.
Oh, yes. I see your argument there.
It's a logo and a name. Get rid of it.
Yeah,
who cares?
What I'm saying, with the Eagles and all this shit, if they said we're going to change the name of the Philadelphia Eagles because it's offensive or whatnot, I understand why the name change is changing. Everyone does. It's no question. But yeah, if they went and changed the Cowboys or the Eagles or something, the Giants, I would be offended not offended, I would be upset. And I think Redskins fans probably are going to be a little upset, just to point that out. From just, this is the team that you watched your whole life. you might understand the reasons behind it, but it would suck. It would suck to not, have your team name change. It's gotta be, they're not the Redskins anymore. Okay, but like, yeah, I wouldn't understand why they would change the Cowboys or Eagles or Giants. Like, what would your logic be other than?
But my point was, if they did, would you take personal offense?
Personal offense? No, I'd be mad. Would I want to follow?
Is that a hill you're gonna die on?
The Dallas Horses as opposed to the Dallas Cowboys? Like, probably.
Well, no, you gotta be more offensive because basically the whole Redskins thing is blatantly offensive. It would be like if the Cowboys were called the Dallas Rednecks. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but what Adam's point is, it doesn't matter about why the name is changing. Why should you be so upset? But
it's just a sports team name. They're still your team. They're still your city. Like, they're still your players.
Are they though?
Yes, they're still your team. They're still your players. They're still everything.
If the Dallas Cowboys were not the Dallas Cowboys anymore, I probably might not give a fuck about the Dallas Cowboys.
What if the Cowboys moved to another city?
Yeah,
that's a lot more offensive. That's a lot more offensive.
Let me just say, some people have had to deal with that.
Yeah.
But if you became the New Mexico Cowboys,
I would probably stop following the New Mexico Cowboys long before I would stop following a name change. Yeah, the Dallas Texans or something. But I don't know. I mean, that's why I say I could understand why Redskins fans would be upset. Like, it makes sense to me. Even if you know the name change is the correct thing to do, you're still going to be like, man, you lose that history. You lose the Redskins will now be a thing of the past, and it's time for this new thing. And that, it's kind of, it's
exciting.
It's exciting, but it's also kind of shitty to let go if you have been a fan. If you grew up in Washington and you've been a fan of that franchise, it's gotta hurt to change,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But.
Well, I think we've talked it to death.
Yeah.
I think, are you guys ready for Patreon?
Yeah, that's a wrap. Clip it.
Clip it.
Clip it. Or whatever this thing is.
Send us out,
in the
Adam.
film.
Send us out, Adam.
That's going to be all this week for Nerdy, Drunk, and Stoned. Jason, where can everyone find you? And by everywhere, I mean nowhere.
You can find me here.
You can find Jason, the cantaloupe.
If you comment, I'll reply to your comments.
Other way, Adam. Other way.
Yeah, you got to point this way.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me switched.
Yeah, I got you switched. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
The cantaloupe right here. You can find him only here because he doesn't like social media.
I'm exclusive to NDS. I've signed a contract.
I like it.
Thank you.
I can be reached at
We
Twitter,
own him.
at
Michael Garner.
_Renrag.
Only on
Twitter and Patreon.
As for me, you can find me here every week at Nerd Drunk and Stone. I'm also available on Twitter at XAlienX and on Instagram as well. I am working on a Twitch, but
That's exciting.
It's kind of frustrating to set up. Please stay around for the after show. Sign up on our Patreon. And you will see what we have to say that's not okay for the normal recording, right?
Not
Cut
necessarily.
Cut it! Jesus. Pull the plug.
You're killing Jason right now.
Can you? Where's the audio fade out? Is it right here? Is this it? Bye.
We'll see y'all next week on Nerdy Drunk and Stone.
God. Yes.
Goodbye.
Okay. Cue black screen.